go. That's how outsiders go. Listen to the start. What? That's what you got it. What? Should be said what?
Hey everybody, it's another Wednesday spreading love unapologetically. I am Gina Kenny with Epic, ensuring parole for incarcerated citizens, joined here by my sisters of the movement.
Hey, Tamora Freeman with By Any Means.
And we also have Gay Lisa Carr in studio with us as well. She'll be with us momentarily. She is with Adjusting Lives, Healing Heart. Today we have a couple guests right now. We have Larice Glover here with us right now in studio. We also have a special guest calling in, Swift Justice. He is currently justice involved and has a lot to speak on about our topic. We are human. Joining us now will be Gay Lisa and her guest. We'll go ahead and let Tamora take it over.
How y'all doing today?
Hello.
Good. Hey, y'all. I've been gone, y'all. We back. So one of the things we wanted to talk about this week, we just wanted to make it kind of informal this week and just remind everybody that we're all human. You know, it's been a heck of a year, you know, thanks to the pandemic and thanks to everything that's going on in our society, in our community. Well, we've been getting it done, all of us, you know, by any means necessary. We've been spreading love, you know, but we want to try to refocus right now, and that's what By Any Means and all of our sister organizations is focusing on. And so when we talk about being human, I did a live not too long ago because I was really concerned about where our communities is headed. You know, we want to be able to spread the word, get information out, but we also want to be accountable in everything that we do as well. You know, it's important for our communities. It's important for us to be able to grow, to talk about accountability and just talk about being human, being honest with our feelings, being honest with everything that it is that we're feeling right now. There's been a lot of anger, frustrations, highs, lows. I hate yous, all kinds of stuff over the past year. But so we want to talk about that. We want to give everybody the opportunity to talk about it. With the George Floyd, they say that he got justice, but he didn't get justice. Mm-hmm. He didn't get justice. You know, he got a little bit of accountability, but the real work is just getting started. You know, and that's where we want to head, and that's what we want to talk about. So with By Any Means, because of everything that was going on, we really started thinking, like, how can we help before it gets to that point? You know, what can we do as a community before it gets to that point? What we were looking at is our youth. Our youth are the most important people on the face of this earth right now, because they are our future. And we really have to, every single body in here, we really have to start focusing on our youth.
True.
You know, they're going to prison. You've got the school to prison pipeline, which a lot of people don't know about. You know, it's set up.
Which is something that we definitely spread a lot of love about. And I'm glad that Larice is in studio because he was extremely
so we could talk about that because people don't understand that our young people are reared from a young age to go to prison.
Absolutely.
You know, the minute they start having detentions, the minute they start
and the private schools are worse.
Oh, I went to a private school.
Yeah, I mean.
I got expelled. So
that girl.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. So I was at Cleveland CCC. I went in my 9th grade year, and I played varsity basketball. And I went into my locker. This is my varsity year now. My varsity basketball in my freshman year. I went into my locker, and my mom had given me a coat. I hadn't seen my mother since I was 5. And so this coat meant everything in the world to me. Someone had broken into my locker and wrote KKK over it.
Ooh.
Well, I found that person.
Yeah.
y'all already know what
Hence
happened.
expelled.
Hence, I got expelled. Of
She had every
course.
right to be expelled.
I remember the
Understand.
nuns, they were like, but Miss Rogers, you could have handled this differently. I was
I
like,
know.
handle it
Whatever.
how? But I mean, and so when you think about it, people like myself and, different, other people, we're reared to that,
Right.
It's more so our young Black males,
For sure.
I was having a conversation with Elisa. I've had a conversation with you. I've had a conversation with Teresa. You talk about being human. When did all of this start? When you pull up data on the internet, which is not always accurate, you got to really search for scholastic information. It talks about the welfare area in the 1960s and how single moms, where they weren't single at the time, the goal was to remove the Black male from the household. You remove the Black male, you break down the Black family.
Right.
We get that. So here we are. It's 2021, y'all. We still see the effects of that, So my question to everyone is, what can we do? Because it's a human thing, to wonder. You got our own people out here talking about our young people. Like you drive down the street and they putting their windows up
like they're predators.
Right,
But
they're predators.
that's the thing though, that this isn't something new. This is started early on, and we'll say 1999, early 2000s. I mean, I know when my husband was convicted in 2001, that's what he was labeled to be, as a predator. He's a child. And how old were you when you were incarcerated?
17.
Jeez.
17?
Yep.
17.
Wrongfully
How long were you
incarcerated
there?
at 17.
20 years.
20
Oh
my
years.
God.
I just did 22.
Jesus.
Flat.
That's what I
No earned credit.
So let's kind of move over to our guests.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just stand right here.
You gonna stand here?
I'm gonna stand here. Yeah.
Bring it in, girl.
Bring it in.
Hey everybody, we ain't been around in a while.
It's all right.
Hey y'all.
We've been holding down the fort.
I wanted. We are human is just we are human people. We are human. Everybody is human. We put on and we say and we fight for this, that. We have our discriminations because of the way we were raised.
Yep.
But truly this past year has shown us that it's not about race.
No.
It could never be about race.
Thank you.
It's about people.
Human race.
People. Everybody deserves and is afforded the same experiences, but the same. Everybody's afforded the same.
Right. We're all human
We're
beings.
all afforded
We are
the
all-
same.
Yes, for sure.
Incarceration, Black, white, we all afforded
We're all
the
people.
same. People.
We all came into this
We are
universe the
human.
same way.
Right. So I wanted to, and we got two great people, two
Yes,
great
we do.
stories, and I want to turn it over. We can start with Larice, and he's going to tell us about his experience, and just keep in mind that we are human.
Yes.
For sure.
My name is Larice Glover, and actually I was 16 years old when me and two of my best friends was picked up and questioned for a murder that we had witnessed, and a lot of times, like, we go speak about our experience and what happened to us, like, a lot of people ask us, do we believe that race played a part in our situation? And from my point of it, like, I absolutely believe that race played a part, because I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with East Cleveland, but East Cleveland is like one of the poorest cities in Ohio, and it used to be a nice suburb, but now it's just it's just at the bottom right now. And it was on its way, it's going that way when this happened to me and my two friends. So, like, when people ask us, do we believe race played a part? I say yes, because it was like so much information that the police had that probably would have led them to the right perpetrator if they would have went and actually looked for this person, but they didn't. And they believed that, we was three Black guys from the ghetto, and they believed that they could just put this murder on us and we'd just go to jail and it wouldn't be a fight. But luckily for us, like, we had we come from 3 strong families, like, and our family fought every day through rain, sleet, snow. They was out there protesting, and it was like for the first time they did a protest, like it was like early January. It was like so cold out there, and they was out there with their signs, you know. So lucky for us, like we had that support, and throughout the 20 years, like each time that we went back to the court for whatever kind of hearing we had all our families there, we had our community there. Like it was so many people there, like they couldn't even get in the courtroom. Like a lot of people was in the hallway and everything. Like, but it was good for us to have that support, for them to see that, you know, we had people that believed in us and loved us and knew we was innocent. So throughout that whole time, like every time that we ever went to court, like we had so many people down there for us. So we was blessed to have that, because, you know, it's a lot of people that's still in there, and you know, they don't have nobody to fight for them. You know, so that's why now that we just been out for 6 years. March 26th made it 6 years that we've been out. So we just celebrated. We have a party like every year.
I know. I love watching y'all, man.
And that's why I do what I do now. Like I go to colleges, high schools,
he does high schools,
middle schools. Yeah. Like whenever the whole Innocent Project called me to go speak somewhere about wrongful conviction, it's like I'm there. You know, because I wouldn't want to see this happen to my worst enemy. You know, nobody deserved to go to prison for something they didn't do. So.
And even then, like being wrongfully incarcerated, but let's be honest, you were institutionalized for that long, right? And I know, like, I've watched Ruel speak, and, you know, I've been to the seminar where Amy spoke, you know, what it is being, you know, the significant other on the other side, how it feels, you know, living life after incarceration. And I'm sure you know this, like, even though you didn't do it, you guys still have to live life as criminals, because you guys are always still looking over your, you know, your back and wondering, you know, oh my God, one wrong move, one wrong scenario, and I'm going right back, you know. And we know, like, that's a lot of our correspondence's issues is they are coming out on parole. But let's be honest, how easy is it to fall victim back to the system because of all of these other things they have over their head? Ruel had to come out and we got a call. But Ruel came out and had to, what was it, and still had to be on probation and everything else. We got a call. Got it. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys.
You got it? Did they hang
Hello, caller. Thank you for calling into Spreading Love Unapologetically.
They hung up.
Maybe not.
Call
Sorry.
back.
Call back. Call back. Call back. But Ruel Saylor, wrongfully incarcerated, had said the person that did it, a friend of his, was with him at the time that this person committed the crime. So they ended up making him plead guilty to perjury just to get him out, so that he couldn't get compensation or anything like that.
What?
Oh, yeah. And it's crazy because Ruel has the same judge my husband had. So similar situations, and it's just like that's how it is. It doesn't matter. They play us, you know. Everyone. They're slave catchers. We're all potential slaves right now, right?
Absolutely.
But like, I know it's still like hard for you to even, you know, 20 years. That's a long time. What kind of effect has it had on your life, mentally, emotionally? I mean, I know you guys are doing great right now. Like I said, you know, I applaud you guys all day long. I've had the pleasure of meeting them. They showed up and showed out for the wrongful conviction rally. I was very thankful for their family showed up too. It wasn't even for them, but they was there holding signs right alongside with us. But what type of toll, I mean, has it taken on you? Now, honestly, you see me, you came in studio, and I'm like, by the way, this is, because I feel like people should be bowing down to your guys. You'll never be repaid for that.
Right.
So over the last 6 years, how have you been able to better yourself, even having to deal with those situations for 20 years? And same question for you. You said 22 years.
This is me bettering myself. Like when I go out and talk about wrongful conviction, it's like a lot of it's not for everybody. Everybody wants to forget about it, you know. So
Right.
And I can't knock them for that, but like this is like therapeutical for me. Like it helped me with my day-to-day life. So whenever I go out and I spread the word, if I can reach one person, like I feel like I did my job for the day.
Hey, that's my
So,
saying.
yeah, so,
That's my saying to my girls, is it not? They say it's hard work. As long as you persuade one person a day, imagine how many more people that one person is going to persuade throughout their lifetime.
Yeah,
And that's what it's about, empowering, educating, and embracing. I'm glad you said that, but continue on.
And before it happened to me, like I never knew about wrongful convictions. Like, and you know, I got a lot of people in my family, like until the day I walked out of prison, a lot of them believed that I didn't do the crime, but I had something to do with the crime because I was in prison. They was thinking it don't happen to people, you know. So, like, my situation definitely opened a lot of people in my family eyes as well. Like, because I still have some family members that doubted me, you know. So, with that happening, like, it opened their eyes to the situation. But, I mean, like that, it had a huge effect on me. Like, I had like 2 failed relationships that.
Oh, we gotta call her again. Hey, Lisa's over there DJing. Come on, girl. Spreading love unapologetically. Hello, hello. Who we got on the line?
Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Talk to us. Oh,
It sounded like it was on there too.
it was
on
too.
there.
All right, we got. We also have Swift Justice calling in. But how for you? How long have you been out?
I haven't been out 30 days.
Oh, goodness. Oh goodness!
Tell them about
This is
Right.
when we were
30
supposed to be praised. Hey, we were supposed to be outside hurrah and hurraying for you that day.
Really?
Yes,
I
we
haven't
were.
made my 30 day yet. So
Okay.
I can't really say that I have started to give back to the community. Do I have a desire to give back? Yes.
Absolutely.
Do I have ideas to help our youth? Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I look at our youth as, believe it or not,
They're precious.
Malcolm.
Yes.
Okay. And I look at our youth as Martha. And I look at the leaders that we had that could have shifted our whole existence right now. But our leaders was wiped out. So therefore our existence in rural areas was led to fall. Like she was saying earlier, okay, you took away the examples of positive role models. So now, this is just the way I feel. I feel that
All right, we got Swift Justice in.
I feel like, okay, what happened. So now what can we do to fix this? So what we can do to fix it is, in my opinion, we can start teaching our youth the right way to hustle. People look at the word hustle like, oh my goodness, it is the horriblest thing in the world. No, hustle is working. Hustle is a
Yes.
job.
Right.
Hustle
A
is
legal
making a
hustle.
living.
A legal hustle.
Okay.
Yes.
But see, they taught our youth, go sell drugs, go do this, go do that, things that was wrong.
Yeah.
Our youth need to know that there's other ways to hustle.
Yes.
Go down to Cedar Point and sell some funnel cakes.
Yes.
Seriously, it sounds
For
funny,
real, no,
but
it's
you
right.
make what, $700, $1,000 a week?
Yeah.
Okay, or even more. That's your least intake. Okay, go do other things. Start teaching our youth other ways to make a living, because that's really what it's all about. They want something that their parent or their parents can't afford to put in their hands.
Absolutely.
So therefore, they do what they can to get it in their own hands and help their siblings.
At what age do you think for our youth that we should really start to hone in on our youth to prevent them from, going down that road?
Me personally, I think you should pay attention to your youth.
Absolutely.
Your youth are going to tell you exactly where they're at in life if you pay attention. Once you pay attention, they're going to ask you questions like, and it's going to blow you away a little bit. But you can't let them know it blew you away.
Right.
Right.
You got to
right.
suck it up,
Right.
put your big girl shirt on,
Mhm.
and you have to answer them to the best of your ability. And you have to let them know that they can trust you. You understand what
For
I'm saying?
sure.
That
Yeah.
they can trust you with the next obstacle that comes their way.
Mhm. I agree.
And whatever it is that they want to do, you have to really listen and pay attention. And you also have to pay attention when they are like 6 and 7 years old. And they
Especially.
have company
Oh,
over.
yeah, especially.
You have to
It's
pay
funny.
attention.
She's talking. I have my son will be 19 this year. I have a 10-year-old, and I also have a almost 14-year-old. So they're spread it out, and each of them have different things. But my 18-year-old just turned 19. He'll be 19 in October, and I'm truly blessed. And the thing with children is you can't just listen to respond. You have to listen to listen. Period.
Definitely.
I do want to go ahead and introduce real quick because he's going to be in on the conversation with us today. We have on the phone Swift Justice. I'm going to give you a minute or two to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone how amazing you are.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm sorry. Start all over. Go ahead.
I said I wouldn't say that I'm too amazing, but I appreciate you having me. But I'm activist, suicide organizer, inside of Alabama Department of Corrections. And my band is national. As far as different prisons all across the United States, man. I just been listening to this conversation, man, and y'all are talking about one of the main topics that really I have a whole lot of passion for, and that's our youth, and how important it is for us to actually address what's going on in the United States with our youth, with school prison pipeline, and it's actually
Yes.
in the judicial system right now. So, it's kind of funny too that y'all have this conversation because I've just been following the 7 Miller versus Alabama case, and it's drastic how our system, and not just our system, but the people of America just look at our juveniles. It's really great.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
And actually, Swift decided to come in conversation with us because he had made a post about there was a man that's locked up in Alabama who was just resentenced, and they resentenced him to life without parole again. Am I correct, Swift?
Yeah, the Evan Miller case was one of the hold on one second.
Yeah, it was one of the juvenile bills that they go off of, that one and the Louisiana one. But I brought to his attention, which people aren't aware yet, last week or the week before, Congress, Supreme Court, 6-3, voted that it is constitutional to sentence our youth to life without parole. It is constitutional. Now that right there wipes out any movement that was for juvenile life without parole. They're going to have more work to do because here we were just getting, like Ohio, we just passed a law. You know what I mean? Like we were just getting there, and the Supreme Court just really knocked us down. We the people who? We're all humans, right? That's the conversation today. So I was thankful to see, I actually just caught Swift's post. He had posted it days ago. But I definitely wanted to bring him in on the conversation because, like I said, he's living, he's living this right now. And he's been doing a lot of work for many years. I've been following him, and he's one of the most, I have to say, most informal activists on the inside, period. I'm just saying, Swift. I'm just saying, because a lot of them, action over clout, babes. That's our saying here. And I have to say, he's all about action, and he takes retaliation to continue to push for the movement.
That's real.
That's real. Y'all Google him, Swift Justice.
Oh.
I've watched many interviews.
Look,
I've read many articles. But yeah, so
Are
you?
you? Since he told me he was gonna kick me off his page, so I was like, "Who do you think he is?"
Swift, you're in trouble.
Hold up.
Tamara, she said you sent her a meme the other day talking about you was gonna kick her off your
Tamara
page.
Freeman,
Excuse me.
you're getting deleted.
Oh yeah, man. I've just been having a little fun.
I know. I was cracking up. I was like, "Who you think he is?"
Nobody liking my stories. I was offended,
We're just thankful you have that
Yeah, we're
opportunity to be
thankful.
able to enjoy,
We got-
enjoy and
we're
watch and
human.
listen.
We gotta
And
laugh.
we're glad that you're here with us as well. And I don't know, you said you were listening, and we have two great other guests in here as well that have lived it, have experienced, have done it. And unfortunately, you're still doing it. But yeah, We love y'all for real. I mean, seriously, like I could never imagine the experience, you know, like my husband's been incarcerated. I've lived out, you know, we do time too. It's different, but I could just never imagine having to do decades.
Well, you know, that's something that's one of the reasons why I do, because, you know, like you just pointed out, we're not the only ones doing time. And, you know, that goes with the family, that goes with the children that we have,
Thank
you know,
you.
in the world. It also goes with our community, because, you know, everything that we do, and as far as in our life, man, that reflects everybody that we're around. You know, whether it's wrong, whether it's good, it doesn't matter. You know, it still at least a mark of some sort on our families and our community. So yeah, you're 100% correct about that. That's something that people actually have to take into consideration. And, you know, not only on the outside, but on the inside too, we have to remember that, man. It's our families doing time with us.
Yeah, you guys, and you know what? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, just strategizing on the inside together in unity. You know, it's especially right now, it's trying times, and it's hard to get people from the inside to follow the movement and be passionate and consistent with it. You know, we need more people from the inside to be doing the work that you're doing right now. Because like you said, it's not for you. It's for your families as well, your children.
Speaking of families, how did
Right.
your
And,
family?
you know, and I was listening to the brother that was talking that you have there on the guest, as a guest, you know, and you asked the question on what all, you know, impact it had on him after his release, mentally, physically, emotionally, you know. And, you know, that's something that people have to really take into consideration, man. Because I'm going to tell you something, I believe brothers play it down all the time on how much impact it's actually had on them. You know, when you're sitting at home, you're struggling trying to get a job, or you're sitting at home struggling trying to get into a relationship, whatever it might be, man, and like you said, people are looking back. You know what? That's that possible murderer. That's that possible robber. That's that possible rapist. You know, it doesn't matter. The judicial system's always right. He wouldn't be in the courtroom if he hadn't did something. You know, because that's the way we were raised in the America that we live in. Not just today, but for many decades, man. That's the way we've been raised, man. There's no way that he could have been or she could have been in that predicament if she didn't or he didn't do something.
Amen.
But my thing is this, Swift, even if they do something,
It's like me, because I was guilty.
Right, even if they do. Hey, listen.
Me too.
But I didn't deserve all
I
that
did it.
time.
I did it.
Because
But yeah.
I didn't deserve 22 years. Come on
Right.
now. I broke the law. But come on
Right.
now. 22
That's-
years.
that's
That was
our-
Talk
ridiculous.
about,
Thank you.
and that's what
And I
I
didn't
want.
even commit murder.
So let's tie this in a little bit, because we are human,
Yes.
talking about the youth, but we got to take into account.
Oh, we got a caller. Maria will get us in.
I did the right thing.
Spreading love unapologetically. Who do we have on the line?
This is Rob. I was just listening to the brother Swift, and he was talking about the issue of, I'm also another activist that's calling from on the inside as well. On my social media account is down as Jag. But I think the thing that we need to look at is social reform, because the Department of Corrections, their whole objective and their mission statements was rehabilitation, and we look at the fact that we're dealing with a state that focuses more on retribution and not rehabilitation. It's more so along the lines of punishment.
Right.
And the things that actually does and causes the mental deterioration that occur from a mental health perspective. I mean, I can't begin to explain to you the things that I've seen in this environment after 17 years. I've been dealing with this since I was 18 years old. So having to grow up in this environment and seeing the things that I've seen, I mean, I commend the brothers that you have there with you in getting out and actually doing something with themselves and pushing forward and, you know, going further than what statistics say being another number.
Yes.
But what is it that we do to actually teach the youth how to more so focus toward deterrence for coming inside of this environment? What remedy do you all have? I mean, because the way that we deal with them in here is almost to the point where there's no interaction because of the communication level at a minimum.
That's a good
Right.
question.
With the
That's a
younger
really
guys
good
that's
question.
coming in right now at this moment. I mean, because to be honest with you, majority of them are on some type of substance. There's a chemical imbalance going on that they're trying to bring about through whatever they can take, whatever they can smoke, and for that reason, we have what you call a functioning addict.
Yep.
I got you.
You know, the term being up under the influence actually means that they're not up under their proper frame of mind, and they doing all type of things. So what is it that we do to reach them from this environment as well as from this environment that you all in for coming into this? Because this ain't making me any great in every respect.
I said, that's all tomorrow.
That's all
Go
me.
ahead, baby girl. She been waiting. Go ahead.
Well, I heard a couple things in your question. That's an excellent question. First of all, thank you for calling in. We appreciate you. The second thing is you're right. I've been told that a lot of our loved ones, they go to prison, and whether they're on drugs or they're not, by the time they leave, they're addicts.
Right.
You know.
We had this conversation.
And so you're right. There is a major issue going on. I believe, as far as Ohio is concerned, ODRC has attempted to at least begin to combat the problem in terms of they stopped the mail where everything has to be copied. They're putting some measures in place, but we don't know specifically what they're doing to the CEOs because we already know that's how it's getting.
That's how it's coming
between
in.
the CEOs, the staff, Aaron Mark, and all the different.
But one thing
Yeah.
about that, I
Yeah.
don't care what they do, they never stop.
Right.
They'll never,
You're never
they'll
gonna
never
be
stop
able.
the drugs from coming
And
in.
so to address the drug problem, I know a lot of people who have substance abuse issues, alcohol concerns. They've got to be able to admit, first of all, that they have a problem. Accountability. You can send them to 10,000 programs, but unless they are ready, they're not going to take advantage of any program, or the program is not going to be effective for them. That's the first thing. But the second thing, though, is what I've learned, because my loved one is at Grafton. I actually have several, but he's been in the system for 30 years under the old law. He's a mentor, and one of the things that he talks to me a lot about is the older cats, as y'all call yourselves, are mentoring the younger cats, saying, hey, why don't you try it like this? The same way we do out here, they're doing it on the inside and pulling them in and trying to show them there's a different way you can go about doing this, Yeah. And that's really important, because by the time, sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes they wake up, and they start going to the different programs and their minds begin to change. But, in order to make the changes, we always say, if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same results.
Right.
We get a lot of phone calls about this. So I understand exactly. And it's frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Can I make a comment on
Yes,
this?
you can. Please.
Me personally, as you all know, I just left.
Right.
And all the girls know Wanda Moore. That's it. And I've spent a lot of time putting positive me, all I have, into a lot of different women.
Yes.
Now, you're right. A lot of the girls, they are out there and they're doing their own thing, whatever that case may be. But the way I chose to help different girls are the girls who would take time and listen.
Right.
And the girls who would come back and ask questions. Those are the girls that I would put myself into.
Yeah.
Right.
Because those girls made steps to show me. And some of those girls didn't come back to prison after being, as they would say, what's the word they use? Recidivism.
I can't even
Yes.
pronounce it.
Okay.
Ask Annalisa, I can't even spell it.
So,
Thank y'all.
but now you talk about drugs in the institution.
Oh, God.
As far as drugs in the institution, in my opinion is, my own personal opinion, the institution pump more drugs in them than anybody.
Amen.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean,
Mental
Right.
health, psych services,
Right.
they have more zombies walking around the institution. So therefore, the people who are trying to get clean, by the time they finish keeping them pumped up for they bit, when they walk out the door, they was just as addicted as they were when they walked in. That was without, especially in the female prison.
Right.
Now, I can't speak on the male prisons, but the female prison, I did my share there. I've seen. So I know for a fact is, okay, cool. Officers may bring in something here and there. But with the women, it's not popping like that. It's really not popping like that.
My thing is, it's not so much of the flow of the officers bringing it in, because what I'm seeing because I mean, not to just put too much out there. Also, I'm affiliated. But what I'm seeing is a lot of these young brothers that's coming in from the streets, they coming in the system addicts.
Yep.
They coming in
Oh,
looking
definitely.
for something to get out on, and it's like after being in a considerable amount of time as a coping mechanism, that's the first solution that they have. As far as I mean, it bothers me because they have to go back out of society and be somebody's dad.
What
They have to
bothers?
go back out of society and be somebody's son, or brother, or and so forth and so on. And
So do
it's
you all
like
have
you
groups?
Well,
He's inside.
he's inside.
I
He's
understand. I said
So,
in
he's
there,
Yeah.
do
They-
they
they-
have
Actually, I have to
groups?
say-
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Groups where you invite certain people to come, y'all sit
Yeah.
down, y'all
they
talk.
do that.
You can do 7 people at a time and try.
right now
to,
with the issues of COVID, they're not doing any social, any type of group, any classes, nothing other than the classes that they're offering.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're outside of Ohio, correct? You're outside of Ohio. Oh, he's Alabama. So they're outside of Ohio.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
not opening up. Believe me,
they still on lockdown.
they're going
like
through
we
war
are.
down there. Actually, Alabama is going through war. I follow Alabama and Mississippi a lot, and Swift as well.
Well,
So
he just made a major statement, and I want to be able
he
to
said, let him
address that.
comment real quick.
Okay.
You know, I know well the young brother that's on the phone. I love hearing, but I couldn't hear everything that he said. But him and I have had this conversation many times. But anyhow, one of the things that people are missing, as far as I'm going to talk about not just me in prison, but every prison there is when it comes to rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a falsehood in the Department of Corrections.
Amen.
Yes.
There is no such thing as rehabilitation other than what's in the word. Now, when you get these young brothers that come into prison, and I've said this over and over and over again, that when there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and there's no hope, and that's been taken away from these guys, just like he said a while ago, they're going to bring into the next coping mechanism that they can, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to turn to the drugs, they're going to turn to the gangs, they're going to turn to whatever it is that the prison has to offer. Because number one, here in the state of Alabama and many other states across the nation, you have nothing but time to do.
Right.
So all because they are offering these things, even these groups that come in, yeah, these guys might want to change. And I've seen so many of them sit down and say, hey man, I'm done with this dope. And they'll be done with it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden their life falls out from under them. They lose a loved one, they lose someone to death or a relationship, whatever it might be. But the thing about it is the Department of Corrections all over the United States of America, and they're doing it for one reason and one reason only. Their job is not to correct or rehabilitate. Their job is to continue the plantations. And that is, in all actuality, is a perfect business plan.
Yes.
We're not going to correct these guys. We're not going to give them any kind of incentive to stay out and get out.
Yes.
We are going to make their life worse. So when they come in as drug users, they're going to leave as a worse drug user.
Right. Nope, we agree with you 100%. We're all over here just continuously
Yes.
bobbing and shaking our head with you, Swift.
Simple as that.
We appreciate you coming out. I mean, especially
Thank
like
you.
from the inside, because y'all hear it from us all the time. We're out here, you know, on platform in the
Boots on
real
the
world
ground, right.
speaking on this. You've heard it from the inside, from twice today, from the inside. And it wasn't even just from Ohio. You know, we're Ohio based here, all 3 of our organizations, but this is something that is happening throughout the United States. Modern day slavery is real. And right now we have many organizations trying to abolish slavery in the 13th Amendment, which is something we've been speaking upon too. The system's not broken. It is set up the way it was intended to be. Our loved ones are slaves. Whether you want to know, whether you want to hear it, believe it, they're slaves. And as long as we continue having slavery, you know, the exception clause in the 13th Amendment, they'll continue to be slaves. Our prisons will keep continuously keeping our prisons full, period. They're not going to let them go. They're not going to offer them programs. They're not going to offer them solutions. Rehabilitation, as he said, it's simply just a Band-Aid to make DOC look good. And here in Ohio, it used to be Department of Corrections. They changed the name to Department of Rehabilitation and of Correction. Like, you put the rehabilitation in there, but you're not offering them programs. A lot of our people are being flopped because of the programs they need to take. They didn't take. They're not available. How do I take a program that's not available?
And let me piggyback on that just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Everybody
You
wanna
and Tamara. You and Tamara
Hold
are
on.
bagging each other.
You just wait, so you gotta wait a
You
second.
gotta calm down.
Tony, you gotta wait a second. I need to get this out because I don't. One of the things that we keep talking about is the drug situation, but if our system was properly set up, when you're talking about substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, and stuff,
Centers,
they shouldn't
not
even
prisons.
go to prison. for
Centers,
situations.
not prisons.
Thank you. They should go to centers, not prisons. Why are they going to the prisons in the first place?
Well, the laws changed. People used to didn't go to prison. Okay, I've been around a long time.
Yes.
People didn't go to prison. You had first-degree felons, second-degree felons,
Yeah.
third-degree felons, fourth-degree felons, fifth-degree felons. Okay, your first and second-degree felons went to the penitentiary. Now, I can speak from a woman's point of view. I can't speak on the men's. I'm keeping this like I know. Then your third-degree felons, some of them might have went, but not too often. Fourth and fifth degree felons never went.
They're all up.
They
in there.
used to do what we call HOE time.
Right.
And that means you would go to the workhouse
Right.
for 6 months.
Mhm.
And that's what it was. Or you would go to a facility, okay? But you would not go to prison.
Right.
But
It's-
now-
Yep.
Everybody goes to prison. Not only that, now, I'm going to keep it a little more deeper for you. Even mental health people used to didn't go to prison.
Right.
We had
Centers,
Fair
not
Hill
prisons.
Right. We
here,
have Fair Hill.
and we had Lima.
And it was
And
another one. Started
bottom
with an S.
line is all of that's squashed. So the mental health people went to prison. The people who really wasn't supposed to ever go to prison went to prison.
Slavery.
Everybody's going to prison.
Slavery.
And forbid you go to prison with what we call flex time. I don't know what you call it in your states, but that's when you have a tail.
Yeah.
You're doing an indefinite amount of time, 3 to 15, 4 to 25, or 15 to life. That's the one they get most people with. 15 to life. Okay, that's deep.
All right, so let's go ahead with your piggyback.
I want to touch on that, what you was just talking about too, and then I'll cover that there first. You know, you're talking about those days and those days of the past, but let's recognize one thing. Although the prison industrial complex has been around for a minute, but you got to realize the gold rush of slavery wasn't as recognized as it has been in the past 20 years either. So that is one reason why you're seeing more and more people going to prison, and there's more and more profit off of people. But to go back on what we were talking about a while ago as far as rehabilitation and even the programs, even if they do have programs, which they do have these programs, because you got to understand they're paying people to come inside these prisons and talk to these guys and teach them these things. But the thing about it is, if they're not receiving any other incentive other than receiving their program, and they're not going home, or being able to work their way out of prison, who in their right mind in the prison system is going to even want to take those programs, or even pay attention to those programs, or even take what tools, if they're already good tools, and put them to use? That's not even going to be in the mind frame of somebody who's in prison already and accused of not being responsible, and accused of not being accountable, and accused of not being a grown man. And so they're saying, okay, you need a parental guidance here, so we're going to take you into custody and be your parent here. But at the same time, we're not going to reward you for anything that you do in the positive. Nobody in their right mind is going to sit there and do that. They're going to sit back and do their time.
Right.
I disagree. Because I believe that it's where your mind's set at. If you have made a conscious decision that you tired of the same thing over and over again in life, then you're willing to try something different without a reward.
Wow. Yes.
I
Yeah.
do agree with
I heard
you on
that.
right there, but what you're dealing with in these prisons right now, and just like the brother was talking about that called in, is you're dealing with a prison system that is anywhere between 60 to 65 to 70% youth. Kids.
Yeah.
Now, once I reached that age, and it took me over 25 years of prison to actually say, you know what, I need to do something with my life. And regardless, if I'm going to get out today or tomorrow, which I don't believe I'm ever going to get out of prison, but the thing about it is, I still wanted to change my ways. But I had to come to a point in my life as an adult, and it took me nearly to the age of being 40. And we all know that males mature slower than females. We get that. But inside this prison system, it's even slower. It's really slow.
Thank you for saying
See, I
that.
went in with the mindset I went in on. I was 17, like, and I was in there for something I didn't do.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to let my time go to a complete waste. So I went in. I got into high school. I could have dropped out because high school was mandatory for me when I went in. But when I turned 18, I could have dropped out. I stayed in. I got a high school diploma. I took a couple courses of college, but I got into some trouble. They raised my security to max. I couldn't take it no more. You need to take one trade per number. I got a trade. I took whatever programs I thought was going to help me once I was going to get back out. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, if I didn't feel like it was going to help me, I didn't take it. But I feel like I wasn't about to let whatever time I was about to spend in there while I was fighting to get my freedom back go to waste. I got as much knowledge as I could.
You do the time, don't let the time do you.
Exactly.
Were you able to go for like training and
Oh, I did training, taught training classes. I did 20-something years. So I learned how to build minesweepers. I learned how to solder, build cables. I learned how to buff floors, strip them, wax them, run a company. I learned different things.
You know what? The thing that I did learn once I got out, like, they're like, what job experience you had? I still hadn't worked a job before. I was 17 when I went to prison, so I couldn't get a job. My first job, I worked at Dollar Tree. I was making $8.15 an hour, probably getting 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm 37. And this is
What
what I'm
about the
starting.
trades that you learned while you was there, though? Did you do floors?
Well,
That
no,
was a
I
skill.
took the building maintenance class, so that was like carpentry. They taught you all of that, but like I went to that class for 1 year, and then I did that in like 2006. You know what I'm saying? I got out in 2015. I don't remember none of that stuff. I didn't did it anymore. I only took the class for 1 year. I never touched it again.
That's true.
You know, so I really need to brush up on it, but like, I had to start somewhere. So the job started off $8.15, and it was frustrating as hell, you know, but it was a start, you know. And as the days when it got frustrated, I thought about where I came from and how hard it was for me to get my freedom back.
With
And
that $19 a month.
And that kept me balanced, you know. But then the job started getting better. I went from the 8, then I worked at White Dove Mattress. I was making $10.50. You know, then from $10.50, I worked for a contract company through Amazon delivering packages. And I went to that company, I was making $13.66. So the job just kept getting better and better, you know, but I just had to stick with it. So whenever it got frustrated and I just wanted to just
Give up.
Yeah, I thought about where I came from.
Right. And you never forget where you came from, ever. And that's the thing. Like, you know, how long have you been locked up, Swift? 30 years. Okay. So, right. So, and he says he doesn't think he'll ever get out. If you gave him the opportunity at a second chance,
that's all.
At least a chance.
I think after 30 years, whatever happened, it should be finished.
Right. He's paid his way to society, regardless what he's done. Right. And that's one thing I would like to see across the board through the United States. We need to cap life sentences. Period.
Look at the mindset.
Period.
He don't ever get out. But look at the work he's still doing.
Right. And that's why I totally respect Swift, because, like I said, I've been following him since I've been, you know, my husband and I've known him since we were younger, but this last rodeo, it's been the last 6 years I've been putting in the work solely on my own for my husband's case. He was one of the first ones that I would follow, like his Facebook. We were Facebook friends on my own solid Facebook many years ago. And then he disappeared because they retaliated on him because he was, you know, doing what he's doing. And then again, right, it's been twice within the last 6 years they took you away for a little while, and they just moved him again. So I've been following him, and I know that regardless what he goes through, and regardless his mindset, because we heard him, doesn't think he'll ever get out, he still continues to push forward. Still.
That's wonderful.
It is. But a lot of the men on the inside and the women, they don't have that mentality or that emotional mindset to do that, because they feel like they're worthless.
Well, only thing you can do is speak positive, but you cannot carry the word.
Oh, no, for sure.
So what you can do is you can give them all the positive feedback. You can give them a positive example. You can give them everything you have to give them without draining yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay? Because there's been times that I literally drained myself. I had to go shut down to build back up. Okay? From trying to help. So I don't know. I may be a different type of person.
Oh, no.
I may be a different type of person.
We're all human. We are different, but we are all human.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
And
it's okay to be different.
I've seen so much. Like I said, I just left. So this is real for me.
That's a big things that you said that because we are. That's one of the things that really sets out people who are prison abolitionists and slavery abolitionists and even actually fight this. Because right now we are the minority of America, so we are definitely different than America. So being different is definitely okay.
For sure.
Go ahead, Wanda.
Well, Swift, I wish you the best. I had a good time here with you ladies.
No,
You
go
ready to
ahead.
roll out?
Finish the thought. Finish the
Oh,
thought.
she's,
You cannot leave.
yeah,
Finish it.
just
Go
she's
ahead.
fresh out. You know, she's getting a little emotional, and that's okay. We love to have this platform here for people. We've had many just like you who are fresh on the streets, and this is what they need, and we do. We welcome you back every week.
Yes.
This your
Well,
It gets easier, I promise. Especially when you got a support system. We got your back, sister.
yeah, I am. I'm okay. I am. I am. And Swift, I just set up a Facebook, so that's an invitation. Wanda Moore.
Wanda Moore, Swift. Add her to Facebook.
Just if y'all don't mind, I don't want to throw my Facebook out there right now.
I got it.
Uh-huh.
We got you.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Listen, I salute you. Anybody who has been in prison, gets out of prison, and actually steps up and uses this platform, man, that is an awesome thing because you have not forgot where you're coming from, and you were actually trying to keep people from having to walk in the shoes. So we need more and more soldiers just like that, leaving the plantations and trying to destroy them.
Yes, leaving that plantation and destroying it. Because we will.
Now, if we can get rid of, like I said, that mental health medicine, that'll be one of our biggest stops.
Right.
If we can work and get rid of that mental health medicine. Okay, so if you got people who need mental health, then send them to a mental institution.
Well, that's why I'm big on centers, not prison, rehabilitation
Since I've been
centers.
out, I've been a counselor twice. So right now I'm in counseling right now. And I talked to several different counselors before I settled with one that I feel comfortable talking to. But one lady I talked to, first time I talked to her, we was on a Zoom call. We was on the call for 20 minutes. And she told me she think I suffer from anxiety and depression. And she was like, was you willing to take some medication? I was like, wait, some medication? You only talked to me for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Trying to give me some medication.
As simple as that.
And I told her, where I just come from, I seen so many people that y'all put on medication and they don't bounce back from this. You talk to me for 20 minutes, you're trying to diagnose me.
Diagnose me over a Zoom call.
And when I said I was cool, she was like, well, I don't think we need to talk no more. I said, you absolutely right.
You absolutely right.
As simple as that. Because that's really
20 minutes.
maybe if they quit giving out all their psych meds, they can help people with real ointments that they need. Right. They can give girls Tylenols and other medications that they need, where they're spending all that money on psych meds, where you have girls in the institution who really need stuff for their eczema, but they can't get it because they only make $19 a month. So therefore, they can't afford to pay $4.25 for a tube. Okay. And some of it's $5.25 for a tube of D&K ointment or whatever the case may be. It's just different. It's different.
And the women are
it's different. The women
are treated worse.
And most people don't realize that.
They're worse.
The women really do. Okay. You say the women are in we'll say minimum security. But the women in minimum security can't even get an outfit to wear home. But now the girls in medium and close, they can get an outfit to wear home. But in minimum security, you can't get an outfit mailed to you to wear home. How does that sound?
Not at all.
And my thing is we're Ohio based. Me and Tamara were just talking about it outside. Visitations are opening up. And my husband's institution, now you would think it would be all down one path, one line, one guideline. Depending on what block you're in, that determines how many visits you get for the month. Trumbull. So depending what block you're in, that determines why does each prison run under the warden's discretion? It is their kingdom. Now we know that that's the way they do these prisons is the warden's kingdom. But each prison in Ohio should operate under Annette Chambers as a whole as one. Each of them all medium prisons should have the same rules. All max prisons should have the same. It shouldn't be.
As simple as that. It's not logical.
And another thing, and even going bigger. And the penal system.
It's a system.
No, I know. We got to break this.
We can't. Let them have it. We trying to prevent and help
and be stable for people when they come out
Yeah.
and talk about stuff to people now that they don't have to go in.
Right.
I'm not. The fight with the system is going to be eternally. It's an eternal fight, and that's the whole thing. So my thing is, the people that care, if we don't come together and network and do what we need to do,
Right.
it's just going to be a lot of talking like it always is.
Right.
So
That's why we do what we do.
what do you mean? Because you're fresh out.
Mhm.
And what do you mean?
Tell them
What do
about
you mean?
yourself. Tell your little
Yes,
story.
talk to us.
Oh man. Now it depends on what level you're talking about. I need a washer and a dryer.
She need to wash her hands.
That I definitely
Yeah.
need a washer and a dryer.
I wish you would pick me up 2 months ago.
I wasn't here. I was still locked down 2 months
That's
ago.
okay.
I need a washer and a dryer.
I'm gonna
really.
have a washer.
Yes.
Now that's a
Are
blessing.
y'all
this
listening
what
to
we
this?
do,
We have someone
right.
that just
I
came
know.
home.
Washer
She
and
needs
dryer.
everything.
She just fresh out.
Yes.
She needs everything.
Like,
Yeah,
we-
true.
We were,
I really
asking,
do.
we were asking for donations before you came home.
Prior to your
Uh-huh.
release.
So now they can hear, they can see.
She's
you.
here.
She's here.
Oh,
We need
she
y'all.
Hey.
She gonna be here
She
every
need
week.
everything.
Yes, true. Driving license,
Everything.
transportation. I'm starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
And this is real. This is not
thank you
anything
for
but
coming.
real.
I really.
And I'm grateful to be here. And I hope that I might have said something to help somebody
Oh, definitely.
and put some thought to help make something better happen. At least with the children and the funnel cakes. Okay. I'm serious. You know, let them go make some funnel cakes. Let them go make some of those what you call them, cotton candy balls and little stuff like that at the carnival. Make a decent living.
Right?
Okay.
Right. We're going to go
So-
ahead and take a break really quick. Thanks for tuning in to Spreading Love Unapologetically. We will be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to Spreading Love Unapologetically.
Hey, that was pretty heavy.
We're back live.
Thank you.
Okay, we got Swift Justice back on the line. We have Larice Glover here in studio. Myself, Gina Kenny, and Tamora Rogers.
Freeman.
Oh, sorry. My bad. That was her
I'm
maiden
actually
name.
Rogers.
Freeman.
Yeah.
My bad. Freeman.
Okay.
Yes, our first guest, she is fresh out of the women's prison here in Ohio. Obviously, it's a huge adjustment. Something that I'm not going to lie, I'm not looking forward to. Like, I do really want, my husband's wrongfully incarcerated. I'm wanting him home. Can't wait. Hoping it's all magical and fairy tales, but we already know there's a struggle ahead of us. And that's something that I'm definitely not looking forward to. And I just hope by the grace of God that we are able to cope, the best of our abilities. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and we're all human here. We're gonna go ahead and talk about our youth. We started the beginning of the show on that. Like I said, I know Swift Justice is passionate about it. It was my very passion. I know By Any Means, they're in the process of putting programs together for our youth outside here in the free world to make sure that we can do whatever we can to ensure that our kids have that Boys and Girls Club again. They have those resources and programs again so that they're not having to resort to the streets for attention, love, and trouble.
But when you think about the youth, one of the most important things that we have to remember is resources in the community. They took away the community centers for our young people. They took away the playgrounds. They took away the basketball courts. They took away everything that they needed to be able to have a safe place. And so when we were talking, we decided that it's really important for them to have a safe place again, where they can go. And even with the pandemic, there's things that we can actually do, to make sure that they have a place to go. And so we're going to start. We picked a city. I don't want to talk about who, what, when, where, or why right now. But what I can say is we're building a dynamic program, and it's not for us, it's for them.
Good. Good.
It's for them. It's for our future. Because you'll hear me constantly say, our youth, our future. And when we talk about youth, we have to include the parent, because oftentimes it's the parent. We don't know what's going on in that household. We don't know. People judge all the time. We see stuff on the radio, we see stuff on TV, we see stuff on the internet, ignorant stuff all the time. But you don't know what's going on in that household. We have no clue, and we're not here to judge people. We're just here to say, here we are. Let's talk. Let me help you. And how can we help you? Because we don't have all the answers. They have the answers. But like she said, we have to listen. We have to pay attention to what it is they're saying. And then we have to build based upon what they need, And that's what we're doing. I will say this, though. Part of our youth program, we would love to have, and maybe you guys can help us with this, for real. We want to do a cotillion at the end of the summer for our 16-year-olds. I don't know if you know what a cotillion is. See?
I'm clueless.
Marie, you know what a cotillion is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Swift, do you know what a cotillion is?
Well,
Google it. I have no clue either. So what is it, girl?
Okay, so different cultures have a coming of age.
Yep.
Okay.
A coming of age ball, so to speak. We want to do that for our youth. This is something, these are things that we used to have, back in the day, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Sweet 16.
Yes, Sweet 16. A lot of, I don't want to say the wrong thing. My granddaughter's, she just turned 16. She's Puerto Rican. And she didn't have that opportunity to have that.
Right.
And I think about, it's in the culture where that's what they do.
Right.
Hispanics do. And so we want to be able to put that into play with our young people. So we want to pick an X amount of girls,
Right.
X amount of young men, Before the cotillion, though, they have to go through like practicing and practicing and practicing.
Yep.
They all wear the same thing. They do the same dances. Yep. It's just a beautiful
experience. Beautiful ball.
Thank you. It's a beautiful ball, a beautiful experience. And we would like to do that. But if we can't get it done this year, because it's costly.
Right.
You know, and we want to be able to provide everything for them the first time. You know, the first time. And then the second time, like each year, as we begin to do this each year. And it's important because we need to bring back traditions in our family.
Yeah, because you know, honestly, like I know about it, but I've never been to one myself.
Thank you.
Like I have, my nieces that have. Fortunately, my daughter will. Fortunately, but I did not. Of course, I saw before and after. My mom, went to a cotillion. Of course, she grew up with those. They were like water.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we got to bring back. Thank you, Marie. We got to bring back some stuff where these kids got something to look forward to. Not just a dance. Not just a party, not just kicking it, or going to an amusement park or going to the museum. Although all of that is beautiful,
right?
Don't get me wrong, We also So that's our main thing that we're gonna really need help with, because just finding the right fit, the right kids, And not just in that city, but across the state of Ohio. So we want to bring them all in. And it will take effort, it will take time, and it's going to take a commitment, but it'll be really a beautiful experience for them. And I'm really looking forward to that. And so part of that is being able to reach back. Because everything we do, we want our young people to reach back the same way we reach back, the same way Jay Lisa reached back, same way all of us are reaching back, and I believe that as we continue to do that, it will start to make our I call it a nucleus, a little bit better place. We're gonna always be exposed. We're gonna always see violence. We can't get past it,
right?
But at least we can do our best with what we have and use the resources that we have.
For sure.
So that's where we're at.
What we talking about?
You missed it.
The youth.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jay Lisa. We were going to talk a little bit about Larice and his youth and what we're doing as far as, saving our youth from the system.
Yes.
What we are doing as a individual whole organization, what we're each doing. We were talking about, I said, By Any Means has that programming going on. They're starting to get their programming for the youth. I actually just had an experience last week where my cousin's little boy ended up missing in Parma at that. And he's mixed. Scared me because, his mother's worst fear was that, he basically ran out the house. But, in her mind, she didn't want to put any publicity out there because she was afraid he was going to end up at a store, steal to eat, break in somewhere to sleep, and she just moved from Cleveland to Parma. There's a big difference between the two. And the minute now, hours prior to me finding out that he was missing, I had seen her put a post up that she felt like the worst mom ever. We all feel like that sometimes. I had an instinct to reach out to her to see if she was okay, but I was just so busy that day that I just didn't get back to her. And then I see a post from her sister stating that her child is missing. You know me, right in the car, got my girls in the car. We went out to Parma, boots on ground, searching the whole neighborhood, backyards, trash cans, the whole 9 yards, because when I got there, I got the story. And he does have behavioral problems. And she's an amazing mother. And she's been doing all that she can to try to get him help. And we know what the school counseling is not for our children. It's not. They're a system all in one. So, that right there, I'm like, oh my gosh, my son's turning 19. I'm going to start researching. I do want to get some type of a youth program going for Epic as well. My brother Derek just came home. Him and my son could be the mentors. And every week or every other week, get these kids, however many kids want to come, let me know. Go to the movies. Go to the, some 7-on-7 football, basketball, whatever. You know what I mean? And get them active again. So I know that that's what, I want to start looking into and doing, because you guys know I've been really busy with the old law, this, that, and the other. But as far you're right, the youth.
It's all
And
about
I've
it.
sheltered my kids
It's gotta be about it.
for as long and as much as I can, and it's still scary.
Mhm.
I know that he's doing his thing on the inside with youth. We know that Larissa's been. I've watched him several times inside these schools, and that right there, I have to applaud you for, because that's where it's going to start, is inside them high schools, them high school kids. They are the stars of the future.
Mhm.
We need to start putting them in place of, voting out all this corruption and putting these young, intelligent, because they're not learning like we did, right? So we have to teach them what we know,
But it's gonna start with the parents.
right?
Say that. It all
No, I
starts
agree.
with the
Yeah, it
parents.
starts with the parents.
Yeah, it all starts with the
Right
parents.
out of my mouth.
It's gonna start, and it sounds good, and I love it. We sit here and we say, what we want to do and all that, but I think the goal. So with me, that's why I'm a woman, first of all, but I didn't have to work with women. I chose to work with women because they're the mothers. Their majority are going to be in their child's life in one form or another.
Right.
So no matter what we do with the kid, because I got a grandson that's not in a perfect situation, but I'm not his mother. So I don't have any rights to do anything or say anything. So yeah, it starts, the whole goal is our future.
Yep.
But we have to have a captive audience.
Yep.
Of people. It's not going to be a lot of people. We sit and we know that. We do everything that we do. We don't get a lot of exposure or no money or nothing like that, but it's not about that.
It's not.
What did you say earlier? All of y'all? If we just have one person.
One person.
One person a
then
day.
One person.
We've done. what we
One
need to
person,
do.
yeah.
If he goes into the schools and you come here, you actually helped us.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
say like everything you talked about, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see stuff on TV. They see stuff, but to actually sit and talk to
Somebody who did
Experience
20
that,
years and didn't do it.
Right. When I heard your story,
Right. I did it.
I did it.
Hey, I did it too. But
I
just
did
went
it.
to prison.
Right.
And I
That's
did
another
14
story. We're all
years,
criminals.
so
Right.
uh
So yeah.
to that's a certain
God.
different, and that is why we do this, because people gravitate to us
Yes.
like him
Yes.
and Swift and the people
It's
who
weird,
call.
right.
So what I want to encourage people that's listening to us, y'all just not listening for a reason. We're not just here just for a reason, just because we didn't have nothing to do at this time.
Thank you.
But we keep losing each other with these meetings and then nothing else. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep coming together, opening ourselves up, just like we saw Wanda. She was open. She ain't even been out 30 days.
Right.
And to sit here and just have to relive it or even talk about it, it don't matter what age you are. That don't feel good.
Yeah.
It does not feel good. So, she just, she was just going through a series of emotions, just like I do all the time. That's why I don't be in the mic, because I go through a series of emotions all the time. Because it's always constantly. That's why I say we are human is the topic.
Yes.
From here on out. We are human. It's so much that we do to people just with our words for no reason. And you don't even realize the state of mind with people.
Right.
What is it all for? What I mean? What is it all for? Because over the past month, I've lost somebody dear to me through overdose. But what I have learned is that I still have learning to do.
Right. Amen.
I still have learning to do.
Yeah, so we learning. We're always.
We are, and it's
As long as we living and breathing, we're gonna be.
So
learning.
the opinions of this is right and this is wrong, we
Yes.
don't even know.
Yeah.
We don't even know. We just talking.
Right.
I agree.
So let's stop so much talking.
And let's
Because what is the opposite of anger, rage, depression?
happiness. Shoot.
love.
Yes, joy.
Love, love, love.
And that's how I
Yes.
said I am going to do the opposite. I look at people, with my business and all that. I said I'm gonna look at people and do the opposite. I'm gonna look at somebody and do the opposite.
Yes.
That's what it is. Whatever it is, we had to do the opposite to combat it. But it's not gonna be no big takedown of nothing. It's
got
not
to be
action.
It's got to be all about, just like we were just talking about. It's got to
Yes.
be action.
Those of us who see humans as humans and are right with them being just human, that's it. And it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
There aren't too many like-minded
No,
people, for sure.
No.
But
Because why? Do you blame them?
I don't.
Because
blame
see,
them. I don't blame
in the beginning, we didn't think about the end. You have to start the beginning with the end in mind. You got with the end in mind.
Maria over there left. It's
Nobody could have thought that the world would be so advanced.
Yeah.
For one,
Right.
Technology.
and everything that we've been through.
But you know what? Everything that we need is right here.
Yes.
We just got to.
Everything we need is inside of every person
single
has the same thing.
Yes.
If you activate it and use it, you might like
Every
it.
single thing we need. God has placed that.
That's
we
it.
need.
If you activate it and use it,
Yes.
that's the
He has given
answer.
us what we need.
It is within us.
Yes.
We are human. Period.
Yes.
Period.
Period.
And that's where. That's
That's
how
where
we're
we at.
pushing. Yeah, because I was thinking like you were with me. Talking to the guy. I just got a phone call like right before we came here. Right, was we still at the restaurant?
Mhm.
I mean, it's constantly for you. When you're helping people on the inside of the prison, it's constant, and so you have to kind of
4 missed calls since I've been
you
here.
got to kind of figure out how to remove the emotion from it yourself sometimes, because I feel stuff. I'm an empath, so I feel stuff and I feel for people. But then you have to also be able to, as excuse my language, Marie, look for the bullshit.
Excuse me.
You got to seek. You got to look through all the, because people will come to you with sad stories.
Oh, they got game.
The sad stories.
Mhm.
They got game.
But I believe that in spite of that, we're right where God wants us to be.
Mhm.
We are all positioned. All of us are here for a purpose, and that's part of being human. And if we can just dig into that and say, I ask them all the time, God, where do you want me to be? What do you want me to do? This is not about me. If I do something for someone, I don't want nobody to know. I don't.
Right.
First of all, because I might not have no money. I don't want nobody to come ask me for some money. I mean, but for real, I do, whatever we do, but that's just how I am.
Right.
I would rather, and that's how we have to operate, because I believe that, and we still have that same energy. We still have that same love. And I believe that as we continue to grow, God is going to bless this and help the people that He wants to be helped. People like
That's it.
you, people like Elisa, people like your husband, people like my family, all of our loved ones, all of our loved ones. We all have been affected in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of people say, I ain't got nobody in prison. You may not.
But
you
you're
know what?
condoning it.
Mhm.
But you might know someone, or maybe someone in your family. It affects us all.
Not
whether
right
we
now,
realize it or
but
not.
at the blink of an eye, it
With
can
the
happen.
virus has taught us that coronavirus has taught us that it affects us all.
No one is
All of
exempt
that.
from
No
nothing.
one is exempt. When I say that, I'm talking about in terms of people going back into the community, getting sick, or going in, people that work inside the prison.
Oh yeah, I did
You know,
discriminate.
I mean, it has, right.
Nobody was
discrimination at all.
incognito when it came to COVID.
So when we think about our kids,
They weren't.
and our kids suffered even more. They were silent killers because they didn't ask for none of this. They're young. Our kids didn't ask for this. The ones that are sitting there in YDS, they didn't ask to get sick. They can't leave how they get it. They didn't ask for that. And so our goal with Vitamin Meanz is constantly, how can we help them? And that's why we did, what we're doing right now. And you didn't get to hear it, at the end of the summer, we are working towards doing a cotillion at the end of the summer. You know what a cotillion is?
Yep.
Yes,
Yes,
see?
I do.
Oh God.
That makes you old.
That makes
I should have said no.
No, you didn't say that.
No.
I don't explain it to
I
her.
don't
Swift was Googling
Yeah.
it. We have friends
don't
already
I
mind.
think it's funding. It's always funding, but whatever they don't fund, we got it.
Yep.
We got it. And if God, I believe this in my heart. If God gives us the vision, He will give us provision. That's just how we operate. How by any means operates, and that's how He's been doing since we got started. Whatever we needed, He provided it. Don't have to worry about it. But as Gail, y'all remember Gail Martin? Gail told me before she left, she said, "Don't ever be afraid to ask for money, and don't ever be afraid to ask for a specific amount." So yeah, we're definitely going to be asking because we want to be able to help our young people. We want to be able to give them what they need, an outlet. We need the mentors. We need the Galeases. We need you. We need you. We need young people to come in here in the studio and sit with Marie and learn something about
That's true.
engineering. Right. We need that. We need, and more importantly, I don't like to speak about myself at all, but in the Army, when we were in the Army, most of the women, they put us in these office jobs. I wasn't in an office job. They put us in an office job, and pretty much he was like, okay, we're good. It's cushion. Well, crazy people like me was like, yeah, well, let's do something different. And so I reclassed and became what they call an engineer. But the type of engineer that I was construction worker as a civilian. And these are the type of things that I want to see our women out here, our young girls out here believing, they can do these things, that they don't have to, sit in a perfect little bottle, and be subjected to different things. You can do whatever you want, except, well, there's a lot of things you can't do. Let's be real here. And there's a lot of things I wouldn't want them to do.
Right.
But, the reality of it is this is what our young people need. They need to believe that they can do these things, from the beginning to the end. And so, with everybody sitting at this table, we can make it happen.
For sure.
Like right now.
You want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Please. I'm the comedian.
I mean, this is basically what I do. Like, I just was at Xavier College last week in Cincinnati. We did, they still was practicing social distancing, like a lot down there. So probably only like 20, 25 students there, but they did a live Zoom as well with it. I got a Zoom coming up tomorrow with for John Kira. And I recently was just there too. They doing a documentary about wrongful conviction. So I did 2 interviews with them. I did one on Zoom, and then I went up to the school like 2 weeks ago. So that's basically it. Like since COVID came, like it stopped a lot of it. So like the Zoom ones kind of picked up for me. But the Xavier one last week was like my first live one since COVID. So hopefully everything started to pick back up.
What he does, he's boots on ground, educating our youth, for sure. And like I said, I'm watching y'all, see y'all, and I applaud y'all. They know I share their every movement. I do, and I do, especially those that have been wrongfully incarcerated, we could never pay them. None of us could ever pay them back for the time, the experience, or any of it. Never. Not even millions,
Well, what we're doing right now, I will help you ever any way I humanly possibly can.
Swift, do you want to talk about a little bit on what you're doing on the inside to mentor our youth and get them involved? Oh, hang on, I gotta turn you up just a tad bit. There we go. Go ahead.
Every day inside this jungle, man, it's a task that we mentor the youth. This is like the brother was talking about earlier. They called in. Me myself, of course, you already know I've been kind of laying low especially over the past few months since I'm the attack on kinetic justice and myself and the retaliation aspects. But the topics within these walls, they don't never stop. We talk, we do what we got to do, but at the same time, too, that I'm a man of very few words when it comes to that. I'm ready to do, I'm ready to act, and I'm trying to prepare these guys to do the same thing, because right now the Department of Corrections in Alabama is happy with the placement that is embedded deep inside of the soldiers, inside of the prison system. And trying to actually educate them on what is going on with the system, man, that is a job in itself.
Right.
Nobody wants to believe that slavery still exists.
Right.
That my name and my title is not an inmate. It's not a convict. It is legally slave. And nobody wants to hear that. So, at the same time, it is going to be an ongoing process, and there too, I'm part of the instant generation. We want results tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. I already know that. I wish it would happen tomorrow. But yeah, we have our jobs, and it's a little hard on individuals like myself and Kinetic, especially Kinetic, because they stay transferring us all the time,
Right.
and they stay keeping us in solitary confinement. But hey, one thing I do like about the fact that they do all this to us is if they're locking us up and transferring us, that means we're making a difference.
Yeah, we're doing, yep,
Yeah.
for sure. We're doing the right thing, Swift, for sure. We want to thank you for coming on with us on air today. Keep up the great work. If there's anything you ever need, any support or anything, we have your back 100%. Definitely would love to have you come in studio with us again some other time. But we appreciate you, Swift. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yes.
And I appreciate you saying that, but I want y'all to know this one thing, and this is mostly important. I'm going to speak for everybody inside the prison system, and especially those who fight from inside. We appreciate individuals like y'all. We appreciate organizations like y'all. So anybody listening to this, I shoot my support to each and every group just like this. And I ask that if you can actually help these groups financially, help them financially. If you can help them boots on the ground, help them boots on the ground. Do what you can in this movement, because let me tell you something, we were fighting a multi-billion-dollar beast, and you cannot do that by throwing pennies at this. So it takes finances to do these things.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Swift. We
Thank you,
definitely
Swift.
appreciate
so
that.
much.
All right,
And
so
thank
we're
you
going to
for
go ahead and hang up the line, but we definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much. We are definitely going to bring you in again, though.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, so
Appreciate
have a
you.
good one. All right, Larice, any last words from you?
That's deep that he continued to do that when he constantly say that he don't think he's gonna come out of there. Like I tilt my hat to him for that,
Because I've
Yes,
been
I'm
following
real.
him for at least 6-7 years.
because you got so many guys in there that if that feel like they're not getting out of prison, they just self-destruct.
Crash out.
You know,
Crash
so
out. Just
for
put
him
me
to
up.
continue to do that.
I'm sure you guys remember the Kinetic Justice, the Alabama. We got a lot of, actually Tamara has a personal experience with that because she actually knows someone that knew that was his
That's
nephew.
family. Yeah, that's his nephew.
Yes, Amira was doing the boots on ground down in Alabama for that prisoner. They retaliated against them. That was the video footage we were sharing. They're together. So Kinetic and Swift are retaliated on all the time just because of the work that they're putting on inside the prisons and exposing. So,
Yeah.
but he's willing to do whatever,
I get it. I mean, and that is understandable that the people around, whoever run those institutions, that they are like that. I know when I first started doing time, and when we the justice involved persons, women, we had a little more control, but that was 30 years ago. So now it is more the type of people that get those jobs, and that's just how you got to look at it, because it's just a job. It's just those type of people that get those jobs,
right?
And then they don't want you to tell that they feel like, okay, they're trained to. They're not trained. They don't have police training. They don't. It's not a formal training. It's just basically supervised. They're like babysitters.
You're right.
So
you're right.
it's just unfortunate, but it is true. It is true. It really is.
Thank y'all for sharing. I know sometimes it's got to be hard. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
struggle.
Thank you
every
for
day.
being transparent
Yes.
and
And sharing with
thank
us your personal.
We don't have to get on her nerves no more.
do you go back into institutions? Have you been back in?
Yeah, I went to Richland. I
Okay.
went to Grafton. I was supposed to go to Trumbull,
Mhm.
and then I had some words with the CEO guy, and like,
Mhm.
you know, he was trying to cheat me. Like, I
Oh,
was
they're
in
tough there.
Oh,
They're tough there.
They didn't let me.
They
in,
do
so.
me this. I'm telling you. So I teach in Columbus. So I'm at the city level where they haven't even been sentenced yet. So I just had a group. I do a 6 weeks with the men before they've been sentenced, and it's just a struggle with them and COs all day long. They just play games all day long, you know.
Well,
See
they are.
who can win. You know, that's it. You know, that's all that's on their mind, you know. But it was great. I mean, I know that I made some good friends, and I know that I got the respect of the men, and I know that they heard something that could possibly change their life. So what we also did was they all did their business plan and registered their name with the state of Ohio. So most of them
Yep.
are going to be doing a lot of time. Like I said, they ain't got sentenced yet,
Right.
but that is just part of what I've been doing. You know, I actually do formal programming going into the institutions and stuff. So that'll be something I'll be hitting you up for to go in there with me.
Yes.
Speak with them.
Yes.
He's got Ruel, he's got Derek Wheat, he's
Yes.
got some really strong people at his
Mhm.
side. So
Mhm.
And we have
I love Larice.
Donna.
Wanda.
Wanda.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
We gotta give her
we're
her-
approaching time,
It's
guys.
wonderful. Yep. So we want to thank everybody.
Yes.
Of course, continue to follow us.
Like, share, please.
share, and we do. I want to say that we do appreciate you because everybody,
Yes.
because we've been hitting some great numbers.
Yes, and
So
it's all
we
because
have-
of y'all out there, because it can't be us.
Thank you.
But we are we are thankful that we can entertain you guys each
Mhm.
Wednesday. Every week we just keep coming back with some
So
more
yeah,
for
we
you. So.
if we just happen to go viral, we won't be mad,
be
y'all.
mad.
You know,
We won't
but we do thank you. We do think because y'all we have a presence, and we started in March, so it's a good
We
thing.
definitely have a presence.
We have spreaded a lot.
We have spreaded a lot of love,
Unapologetically.
unapologetically.
For sure. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank all the people for watching. Thank our engineer, our
Yes.
guest.
She is amazing, Miss Marie.
Decisive on the ones and
Look at
twos.
She is too.
Thank Larice. So y'all be seeing Wanda again and
Yes.
Larice.
Thank you,
And
Swift
be hearing from
Justice, for
Swift
tuning
Justice
in.
and all our
Yes.
other people. And like I said, we are human. Tell somebody you love them today. Say hi to somebody today.
Yes.
Be kind.
Be kind. That's
Courteous.
it. And courteous.
Respectful.
Have some
Or not.
compassion, a little
Have
heart.
respect.
Wow.
Yes. That's it. Y'all ain't got to do a
Hey,
whole lot.
It don't cost a thing.
That's it. Hey, just say, hey, how are you? We love you guys. And thanks for tuning in to Spreading Love Unapologetically.
Until next Wednesday, y'all.
We out here.
We out.